All right, let's dive right in. We're going to unpack the incredible quarterly results from a company called Navin Fluorine. Now, they're a specialty chemical company, which might not sound super exciting at first, but their products, they're literally everywhere, from the air conditioner in your car to life-saving medicines. You probably haven't heard their name before, but you are absolutely about to see why their latest numbers are turning so many heads. So first, just look at this number, 129%. That is the year-over-year growth in their operating EBITDA, which, is really just a fancy way of measuring a company's core profitability. A number like that doesn't just happen by accident. It's a huge signal that something pretty special is going on here. And believe it or not, it gets even more wild. Their operating profit before tax shot up by a staggering 173%. I mean, these aren't just good numbers. These are blockbuster, story of the year numbers. It's just incredible. Which, of course, brings us to the big question, right? How on earth did a specialty chemical company pull this off? Well, that's what we're here to do. We're going to dig into the engine that's driving this incredible growth and figure out what it all means for their future. So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the financial blockbuster itself. Then we'll get to know the company and what I'm calling the fluorine fortune. After that, we'll deconstruct their 3 pillars of profit, see how they're building the future, understand why this is about more than just numbers, and wrap it all up with your final takeaway. Okay, so before we can really get into how they did it, we kind of need to understand who they are. So let's take a quick look at Navin Fluorine. To put it simply, these guys are a major global player in something called fluorochemicals. Think of them as advanced materials that go into, well, almost everything. Refrigeration, pharmaceuticals, you name it. And as you can see, this is a serious operation. We're talking 3 distinct business verticals, 4 factories, almost 1,500 employees, and over 900 customers all around the world. So here's the key thing to understand. This amazing quarter wasn't just a fluke or a one-off win. The company's success really rests on 3 powerful and distinct business units. Let's break them down one by one. Let's kick things off with pillar number 1, High Performance Products, or HPP. This division saw its revenue jump an impressive 38% year over year. It went from 293 crores, that's roughly $35 million US, to 404 crores. This is the story of strong, solid growth in a really core part of their business. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. Look where that money is coming from. A massive 62% of it is from international markets. That just goes to show you their global reach and how competitive they are on the world stage. So why the big jump? Well, it's a classic winning combo. They're selling more stuff and they're getting paid more for it. Their plants, especially the ones making those next-generation environmentally friendly refrigerant gases, are running at full tilt. And get this, they're already building more factories to meet the demand they see coming. All right, on to the next pillar. And you're going to see a theme here. Their specialty chemicals division posted almost identical growth, up 39% to 22 crores. So yeah, this is another powerhouse performer that's adding a ton to the bottom line. And yep, there it is again, that powerful international story. An even bigger slice of this pie, 65%, comes from outside India. This is just clear proof that they are a go-to partner for major companies all over the globe. And this is all about forward momentum. See, this isn't just a story about a great quarter that just happened. They have a really strong outlook backed by actual signed purchase orders. They're expanding to launch new products, and a huge project with a global leader, Chemours, is moving along right on schedule. And now, for the star of the show. Pillar number 3, the CDMO business. That stands for Contract Development and Manufacturing Organization. Basically, they partner with big pharma and biotech companies to develop and produce really important molecules. And their revenue? It almost doubled. A jaw-dropping 98% growth. Just take a second and look at this. 96% international. This whole division is almost purely an export-driven global powerhouse working with some of the biggest innovators on the entire planet. This right here is what global scale truly looks like. Look, growth like this is no accident. It's built on a rock-solid foundation of trust and quality. They have orders locked in all the way through fiscal year 27. They're landing and scaling up massive orders with European clients, and, this is critical, their facilities have passed audits by 3 different global innovators. That is a huge vote of confidence. So when you have a quarter this profitable, it raises a pretty interesting question. what do you do with all that money? Well, for Navin Fluorine, the answer is simple and clear. You plow it right back into the business to build an even bigger future. They've announced two major capital expenditure projects, or Capex for short. You can think of these as two big bets on future growth. The first one is to build new factories for HFCs, those next-gen refrigerants we talked about. And the second is to support the launch of a brand new molecule for a global partner. So just how big are these bets? Well, the investment in new refrigerant capacity alone is projected to bring in a peak annual revenue of up to 825 crore rupees. That's over $100 million a year. That is more than their entire company made in revenue this quarter. Just think about that. And on top of that, the new molecule launch is expected to add another 160 crores in peak annual revenue. You add those two together, and these investments are laying the groundwork for nearly 1,000 crores in future sales. Wow. But a company's success isn't just about revenue and profit on a spreadsheet. It's also about having a really clear strategy and a commitment to doing business the right way. Their guiding strategy is simple, but it's super powerful. The 3 Ps of product, platform, and partnerships. And they're not just saying it, they're backing it up with serious cash for R&D. And they're really walking the talk on being a responsible company too, recycling 81% of their waste and getting 20% of their electricity from renewable sources. So after digging into all those details, let's zoom back out for a second. If you remember nothing else from this, remember this slide. This is the whole story of their quarter in just 3 lines. Net revenue up 46%, operating profitability up 129%, and the final profit after tax, the real take-home number, up a massive 152%. It is, without a doubt, a phenomenal performance. And that really brings us to our final thought. This story of Navin Fluorine is this amazing reminder that so much of our modern world, from the cool air in our homes to the medicines that keep us healthy, is built on this invisible foundation of advanced chemistry. Which kind of leaves me with one final question for you to think about. In a world built on these complex chemicals, what other invisible engines of our economy are hiding in plain sight?